Prologue. Wednesday, 19th February, 1567. The boy's shoulders were tense with cold as he stood on duty near the King's Gate. Although it was almost dark, he could still see the high wall running along the left-hand side of the street. The flickering glow of a torch lit the nearest stretch of brickwork. On his right, the palace rooftops loomed black against the frozen sky. Two servants came out of the shadows, walking into the palace. One caught his eye, but did not acknowledge him. 3 weeks had passed since he had come to court, supposedly to finish his education, and already he was regretting his father's decision. He rubbed his hands together and blew on them. Tucking his fingers under his arms for warmth, he ran the toe of his shoe over the smooth surface of a small patch of ice. The air smelled of frozen earth, with traces of burning pitch from the torch. He felt hungry as well as cold. When he was older, he would buy himself some gloves, he vowed, and never have to stand with such chilled fingers again. He started to walk across the width of the gatehouse, whistling snatches of a tune he remembered his mother singing. He wondered if his parents were well. He thought of them talking about him back home in the village, about how proud they were that he was in the Queen's service at Whitehall. That image sweetened him and saddened him at the same time, for he knew how shocked they would be if they could see the way he was treated. Dick Venner regularly shouted at him, as if he was his master, even though Dick was only a year older. It was Dick who was responsible for teaching him the ways of the court, and it was Dick who had beaten him with a wooden rod when he did not bow low enough to a Polish nobleman. The sound of horses approaching at speed broke into his reverie. A moment later, he saw their shapes come out of the darkness. There were 4 of them, their eyes great black beads in the torchlight, their heads glistening with sweat. 2 men dismounted, both out of breath. One took the reins of his own horse and those of the other man. The latter was short and thin. The boy noticed the fine cut of his clothes, but even by torchlight he could see that the riding cloak was splattered with mud, the black silk doublet beneath it similarly besmotted. The man had a crease between his eyes, so that it seemed as he was permanently frowning. His head was covered by a black skull-cap, but he was not that old, only in his mid-30s. He seemed distant from his companions. The 2 who remained mounted bade him farewell and departed. His companion led the 2 horses away to the stables. "Boy, take me to Sir William," the man said between short breaths. Sir William. One of the first things that Dick Venner had taught him was that there was only one Sir William. Other men might be called Sir William this or Sir William that, but there was only one plain Sir William. He was Sir William Cecil, the Queen's principal secretary, and the most powerful man in the government. In fact, the most powerful man in the whole kingdom. He was also reputed to be the most intelligent. Normally, the boy would not have known where Sir William was, but on this occasion he did. Sir William had rushed to court 2 days ago, when terrible news had arrived from Scotland. The rumour among the other boys was that Lord Henry Stuart was dead. Many messages had been delivered since then, one almost every hour. Sir William had barely left the Queen's side in all that time. The boy bowed politely. "With all respect for your lordship, Sir William has given instructions that he is not to be disturbed, except for messengers coming from Sir William..."